Hey guys, Raghav here. Today we're traveling back in time to explore a fallen giant, Austria-Hungary. Imagine a vast empire stretching across Central Europe, home to a colorful tapestry of cultures and languages. That was Austria-Hungary, a major power on the world stage for centuries. Austria-Hungary wasn't always one entity. It came together in 1867, uniting the Austrian Empire and the Kingdom of Hungary under one crown. From the rolling hills of Bohemia to the bustling port of Trieste, its influence was felt far and wide. But like all empires, Austria-Hungary had its share of internal struggles. Different ethnic groups yearned for independence. Economic disparities fueled resentment. And then came the First World War, a conflict that would change the course of history and seal the empire's fate. So join me as we unravel the story of Austria-Hungary, exploring the factors that led to its dramatic downfall. Get ready for a journey filled with political intrigue, social upheaval, and the enduring power of nationalism. Austria-Hungary wasn't built in a day, guys. It emerged from a compromise, a delicate balancing act between two powerful entities, Austria and Hungary. You see, after facing defeat in the Austro-Prussian War, the Habsburg rulers realized they needed to make some changes. The result? The Austro-Hungarian Compromise of 1867. This agreement saw Emperor Franz Joseph crowned as both the Austrian Emperor and the King of Hungary. It was a clever move designed to appease Hungarian nationalists and preserve Habsburg power. Under the dual monarchy, Austria and Hungary each had their own parliament and government, managing their internal affairs. However, they shared responsibility for crucial matters like foreign policy, defense, and finance. This system wasn't without its flaws, though. While it brought stability in the short term, it also created a complex and sometimes inefficient bureaucracy. Nevertheless, the dual monarchy ushered in a period of relative peace and prosperity for Austria-Hungary. But as we'll see, trouble was brewing beneath the surface. Now let's talk about the man at the helm of this vast empire, Emperor Franz Joseph I. Picture this, a stern-looking dude with a serious mustache, ruling for almost 70 years. Talk about staying power. Franz Joseph was a symbol of stability in a rapidly changing world. He believed in strong leadership and was deeply committed to preserving the Habsburg dynasty. But governing Austria-Hungary was no easy feat. The empire was a melting pot of nationalities, each with its own language, culture, and aspirations. You had Germans, Hungarians, Czechs, Poles, Ukrainians, Italians, Slovaks, Serbs, Croats, and Romanians, all living under the Habsburg rule. Keeping everyone happy was like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded. Different groups demanded greater autonomy and recognition. The emperor tried to maintain balance, but the seeds of discontent had already been sown. Section 4. Cracks in the foundation, economic disparities and social unrest. While Austria-Hungary projected an image of grandeur, all was not well beneath the surface. Despite economic progress, disparities between different regions and social classes fueled resentment and unrest. The Austrian half of the empire, more industrialized and urbanized, often overshadowed Hungary, which remained largely agricultural. This economic imbalance created tension between the two halves of the dual monarchy. Within each region, social inequalities were also stark. The aristocracy and a small wealthy elite enjoyed a privileged life, while the vast majority, peasants and industrial workers, struggled to make ends meet. As the 19th century gave way to the 20th, socialist ideas began to gain traction among the working class, further challenging the established order. The empire, once seemingly unshakable, was starting to show cracks in its foundation. Section 5. The Cataclysm, World War I and the Empire's Undoing. And then came 1914, the year the world went mad. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne in Sarajevo, ignited a chain reaction that plunged Europe into the abyss of World War I. Austria-Hungary, backed by Germany, declared war on Serbia, setting off a conflict that would engulf the entire continent. The empire's armies, plagued by logistical problems and low morale, struggled against their enemies. The war placed immense strain on Austria-Hungary's already fragile social fabric. Nationalist sentiments intensified as different ethnic groups were pitted against each other on the battlefields. The empire's resources were stretched to their breaking point. As the conflict dragged on, it became clear that Austria-Hungary could not sustain its war effort. The empire was crumbling from within, battered by military defeats and internal divisions. Section 6. A cry for independence, nationalism's potent force. One of the most significant factors contributing to Austria-Hungary's demise was the rise of nationalism. Across Europe, people were developing a strong sense of national identity, and the empire's diverse population was no exception. For many ethnic groups within Austria-Hungary, the idea of self-determination, of having their own nation-state, became increasingly appealing. Czechs, Slovaks, Serbs, Croats, and others began to demand independence from Habsburg rule. Nationalist movements gained momentum, fueled by cultural revivalism and the desire for greater autonomy. The empire's attempts to suppress these movements often backfired, further inflaming nationalist sentiments. World War I acted as a catalyst, intensifying these feelings of national identity and making the dissolution of the Austro-Hungarian Empire almost inevitable. Section 7. The final act, internal conflicts, and the fall of an empire. By 1918, Austria-Hungary was on the verge of collapse. The war had taken its toll, leaving the empire exhausted and defeated. Internal conflicts reached boiling point. Ethnic tensions, simmering for decades, erupted into open revolt. Czechoslovakia declared independence, followed by the formation of the state of Slovenes, Croats, and Serbs, which would later become Yugoslavia. On 11 November 1918, Emperor Karl I, Franz Joseph's successor, renounced his participation in state affairs, effectively marking the end of the Habsburg monarchy. Austria-Hungary, once a European powerhouse, ceased to exist. The empire's disintegration had profound consequences for the region, redrawing the map of Europe and shaping the political landscape for decades to come. The fall of Austria-Hungary serves as a stark reminder of the complexities of empires, the enduring power of nationalism, and the devastating impact of war.